Okay, you guys, this is a big deal. This is like our last topic for the entire year of Algebra 1. It's a two-part series. We're talking about conversions. Um, this is super useful to know how to do this. The biggest reason I always say for knowing how to do conversions is for traveling purposes, like money. I've traveled in a lot of countries that do not use the dollar. So if you want to know, like say you're in England and something costs 12 pounds, well, what does that mean to me? I want to convert that to dollars and figure out how much I'm actually spending. So for traveling and money purposes, conversions is super useful. Like, yeah, you can Google how to convert any of this stuff very easily, and you should do that if you're next to Google. But if you're not, and again, when you're traveling, maybe you don't have your phone or the ability to use your phone in a foreign country, this is super useful. Okay, so traveling purposes, also for measuring, like you can see the two first examples we're doing. I'm converting 2 miles into inches, 12 yards into inches. So for measurement purposes, this is also super useful. So it's a two-part series, like I said. Today we're going to be converting single units, 1 unit, and then tomorrow we'll convert 2 units at a time. And then that's it. So sad. All right, so let's start. You got 2 steps. Now, the first step in converting a single unit is you write what you start with, the beginning measurement, as a fraction over 1. After you do that, you just cancel your units until you end up with the desired unit, or what you're converting into. So what I mean by that is, the first problem, they want you to convert 2 miles. I want to know how many inches is that. So I start with my beginning unit, 2 miles. Make sure you write miles, otherwise you won't know what you're talking about here. Write it as a fraction over 1. Okay, you want to cancel your units. To do that, you multiply by equivalent fractions, or measurements that are equal. So here's what I mean by that. I want to cancel miles out. Okay, for miles to cancel, since miles is in the numerator, it's on top, it needs to be in the denominator to cancel out. So maybe you know this. I hope you do. I feel like this is something they teach you in middle school. But hopefully you know how many feet are in a mile. So it's 1 mile, and that's 5,280 feet. If you didn't know that, you might want to remember it. People think I'm crazy every year, but I was taught when I was in school to remember that, to think 5 tomatoes, which is really stupid, but I always remember it. Like 5 tomatoes, 5280. I don't know. There's 5,280 feet in a mile. So those 2 measurements are equivalent. 1 mile, 5,280 feet. So I'm going to multiply by that fraction. Miles are going to cancel since they're on top and bottom. If I stopped now, I would be in feet, but I want to convert all the way to inches, so I have to keep multiplying. Now I want feet to cancel, so I'm going to put them on bottom. And hopefully you know that 12 inches is 1 foot. A ruler is a foot, 12 inches. So feet will cancel since it's on top and bottom. And I'm left with inches, which is exactly what I want. So I'm going to go ahead and stop, and I'm going to equal this out. It's real easy from here. You just multiply across on top and bottom. So on bottom, that's obviously just 1. On top, I'm going to multiply those 3 numbers and get 126,720, and that's inches. So that's my answer. I can leave the 1 on bottom off. That's how many inches 2 miles equals. Now you know, aren't you smarter? All right, number 2, same idea. So 12 yards, I want to know how many inches that is. So I start by doing 12 yards over 1, making it a fraction. And I'm going to multiply by fractions until I end with inches. So I want yards to cancel. Yards is on top, so it needs to be on bottom. This is a conversion you should know. You should know that 3 feet is 1 yard. If you don't know that, try to remember it. So yards will cancel, and I would be left with feet if I stopped now, but I want to keep going. Feet needs to be on bottom since it's on top to cancel out. And then same as the last problem, I know that 12 inches is 1 foot. So feet will cancel, and I'm at inches, which is exactly what I want. So same deal, just multiply across. On bottom, it's 1 again. Multiply the 3 numbers, and you get 432. So there's 432 inches in 12 yards. Okay, the last one's talking about time. This one's a little bit easier. Time's a little bit more natural to us. We know off the top of our head how many minutes are in an hour, how many hours are in a day, all that good stuff. So I want to know 60 seconds. I want to convert that into days. So obviously it's going to be a very small number. Let's find out what it is. Okay, if you want seconds to cancel, it needs to be on bottom. So off the top of my head, I can go pretty easily from seconds to minutes. I know there's 60 seconds in 1 minute. So that cancels my seconds. I can go minutes to hours. Don't try to hurt yourself going straight from seconds to days. I mean, you could, but do what you know. Like, I know these conversions pretty easily. I know that 1 hour is 60 minutes. Let's see, hours. Now I can go hours into days. I know that there's 24 hours in 1 day. So that'll cancel hours, and now I'm at days, which is what I want. So I'm ready to stop and multiply. Okay, on top, 60 times 1 times 1 times 1. Well, that's just 60. On the bottom, 1 times 60 times 60 times 24 is 86,400. Okay, and this is days. Go ahead and multiply or divide, if you have a fraction where there's not just a 1 involved on bottom. Go ahead and divide those out to get one number that kind of makes sense. Very small number here. We'll say 694. So 60 seconds, that's 0.000694 of a day. Okay, that's part 1.